welcome to my channel. Please subscribe, please hit like, please enjoy. So what do I have here today? I'm a bit of a mad scientist today. So I got my wife to go get some of her doTERRA essential oil bottles, and we prepped one of them, got rid of the labels, and I believe these bottles are airtight. This is what they look like on the inside. I believe they're airtight. They're also childproof, so I have a hard time opening them because of that. And I said to her, I said, "Dear, any chance you've got a crucible?" And she said, "Crucible? Yeah, I do have a crucible." So she provided me with this monster crucible for crucibling things, right? So I figured I'd use that for crushing shellac. And then the third thing I have is the actual what is it? Nature-free classic shellac. I'm going to bend this bag down a bit here. There we go. De-waxed old world shellac. So they got this from a guy that was in a cave, I think, sitting there in the cave saying, "Hey, how come no one ever buys my shellac?" What the heck? So I got the shellac. I got the little tiny jar, whatever you want to call that, little tiny glass container for to take the shellac, put that in there, crush it, and then I've got a funnel. She provided me a funnel as well. Look at that. So the funnel fits perfectly in here, so I can put a little bit of alcohol in here if I want. I could also use this funnel likely to funnel the shellac into the hole. So let's start. So I've got the isopropyl alcohol. I'm still waiting for denatured, but I'm going to see if I can actually make this goo, which is a liquid shellac. I made another video earlier on liquid shellac, so we're going to see if we can make liquid shellac today by taking some of this old world shellac and crushing it in the crucible. I got more cameras going today than CNN. Now I think I probably have too much shellac here, but I'm going to just crush a bit of it, and maybe I'll make I'll crush some and I'll only use a little bit of it, and then I'll use a container to store the rest, right? Because you can never have too much shellac. And as one of the guys said when we had our little video session on Friday night, he said to one of the other guys, "Hey, you got like enough shellac to last 100 times 100 years. I think so. This is what he said. So we're going to crush this shellac here with this crucible and see what I can do. If I put my hand over the top, then I don't have little pieces of shellac flying all over the place. I could also put a bag over this. So let's see if I can do that. So I got this big plastic bag. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this little crusher from the crucible and I'm going to jam it through the bag. Is that possible? Come on! I may have to cut the top of it. What the heck am I going to use to do that? Probably a knife, right? So let's just cut the top of this nice and easy. So I've got my handy dandy 5-in-1 knife. And this is a great knife, by the way. It's a Husky knife, but patent pending, and effectively holds a razor blade. So I should be able to just cut this like this, and it should go right through. I think the first one went through. Now the second one needs to go through. Come on. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. I don't know. And Barbie doesn't even need to go all the way through. So let's just do it this way. So now I've got this like this. And I've got the shellac in the middle there, and I've got this crushing device here that I can violently crush now without having the shellac go all over the place. So we're just going to crush this shellac in this crucible. Maybe crucible stands for crushable. What do you think? And I'm not sure if there's any better way of crushing shellac, but you could probably put it into a bag and crush the crap of it. But this is the scientific way of crushing shellac. Now the intent here is to mix the right amount of shellac and isopropyl alcohol to create a liquid shellac mix. I'm still waiting for the denatured alcohol to show up in the mail. I ordered some on Amazon 2 weeks ago, and then it was stopped at the border because the Canadian border says there's no way you're bringing that American denatured alcohol across the border because we're so natured, we don't want to be denatured. I think that's why they did that. So let me look and see my progress. It's not doing too bad, right? It's starting to look more crushed than non-crushed, so let's just keep working on this. There might be a better way of doing this, but I don't know what it is. So I can speed this up, so I'm going to stop talking and then we'll just speed it up in the video. All right, that's good enough for now. So let's take out my crusher here, sweep it off, and there it is in the bag. Just throw that behind me, and I'll put this aside. And there's just one little piece of shellac right here that I don't want to throw in because it's going to mess up the rest of the shellac. So that's the shellac. So now I have to kind of scrape it from the edges here. It's a lot of shellac, and I don't think I need it all. Now, what I could do, I want to get the finer pieces of shellac, so it'd be really nice to have a screen of some sort to do that, but I don't have that. So what I'm going to do then is, it's a lot of shellac. Now I want to put some shellac in this container, the funnel, right? I got some other pieces of shellac just sort of laying here. The bigger pieces just sit laying there doing nothing, right? And I should heat some of this up later and see how well it works. So that's it there. So now I want to put some shellac in the funnel. So I want to take this funnel here and I want to enter the shellac. So I'm going to do that before I pour in the alcohol, because if I do it that way, then I likely don't have to wait till this dries in order to put the shellac in. If I did it the other way, it's not going to work. So I'm going to use this piece of paper, I think, here as a scoop. And I'm going to see if I can scoop up a little bit of shellac. Right? Like that. So that's the scoop. And there's some shellac there. And I'm just going to put it inside here. I think it should go through. And I'll scoop up a little more. I'm trying to take it from the edges here because this is the stuff that was most crushed. If you look at crushed and most crushed, that was the most crushed shellac. And throw a little bit more in there. Just look at my jar here so you can see how much shellac is on the bottom there. And I don't need to have a whole ton of it, I guess. So I'll just do a little tiny bit more and that's it. This is a crazy lab time, folks. Crazy lab time. That's good there. I don't know if there's any way of getting more down that hole, but let's get a brush out. And we'll brush the side of this. And that's cleaning it up nicely. And get the remaining shellac in there. And then, there we go. And I'm just going to stick that brush right through. Like that. So I'm cleaning up the funnel nicely. There we go. Otherwise my wife will get mad at me. So I'll put the crucible aside. It still has tons of shellac in it. So I'll figure out how to deal with that later. Now I want to put alcohol in there. Again, the alcohol shellac mix, not sure, 50-50, 60-40, I don't know what that mix is. So I'm just going to lean back and do this. And this is not denatured alcohol, so this is a test. Try not to do this at home, kids. But let's just pour that in. I probably poured too much, which means I got to put more shellac in there later. But for now, let's just take this out and shake it up. It may need more shellac based on the amount of alcohol I put in here. So what we're going to do then is let this sit overnight and see if it results in nice liquid shellac. And then the next thing to do would be to test it. It looks like it might need more shellac in there because it's kind of more alcohol than shellac, so I might put a little bit more shellac in there. I could probably use the piece of paper to do that. I'm going to make a mess here, I know it. So my shellac to mix here. Put more in from the top like that. Maybe like that. That should be good enough. Clean that off a bit with my fingers. And then put the jar back on. Hopefully you appreciate the double, triple camera view. So it took me a while to get my computer to recognize the same camera with the same name. It got confused, I think. So that's that. And then we'll shake that up violently, vigorously. And this is shellac part 2. So I know there's people out there watching going, what the hell is JD up to on a Sunday? Grandchildren are coming over probably around 12 o'clock, so you got to do all this stuff before the grandkids come over. Otherwise, you know what they'd do. They'd experiment more than I will, which could be a big issue. All right. Again, not sure what the end consistency will be of this. Right? We'll just leave it like that. I'm going to leave this to sit overnight, and tomorrow, sometime, probably tomorrow night, we'll check this out and see if it's liquid shellac. All right, again, JD, thanks for watching. A little bit of crazy videos today, and if I do a watch check on, you'll see that I'm wearing the D-Cave. There is the D-Cave watch. Let me just turn that light on. Pow, 10:54. What time is it really? I think it's 9:54 right now. But if I click that again, seconds, date, Sunday, 10:01. 10:54, 10:01. That makes no sense at all. 10:55. I know what I didn't do. I didn't change it for daylight savings. All right, thanks a lot. Anyway, JD, thanks for watching this crazy video, and I'll get back to you with the results.